Today we saw a masterclass, a lesson on how not to hold an election. A dismal turnout, long delays and a mobile service shutdown. You name it, Pakistan's election had it. The day began with some expected news. Mobile services were shut down across the country. Why do I say expected? Because how else can you rig an election? Polls opened at 8 a.m. local time. Some 128 million Pakistanis were eligible to vote. Slowly, they started trickling in. Look at the scenes in Karachi. It's the biggest city in Pakistan, also the country's commercial capital. Turnout was slow to pick up there. In these pictures, you can see more soldiers than voters. And the scenes were similar in other cities as well, like Islamabad and Quetta. Many voters also complained of difficulties like never-ending delays and inefficient poll officers.
The processes are very slow, and I think this is the untrained, unprofessional people are just sitting there.
We are facing internet issues. It is hard to call our voters. A few people are coming to vote. We did not expect a suspension of mobile and internet services.
We have been standing in this line for almost 2 hours now. There are no lists like previous elections. They are sending voters here and there, sometimes to number 8, sometimes to number 3. It is a total chaos.
The biggest worry was security. We saw multiple attacks on election offices yesterday. 2 of them were quite serious. This happened in Balochistan. Both explosions targeted candidate offices. They killed around 28 people. Later, the Islamic State claimed responsibility for it. So the fear was today would be worse, that more attacks would follow today. Luckily, it was not that bad. We did not see violence on a national level in Pakistan today. Only a handful of attacks were reported. One of them was in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. A bomb blast targeted a police convoy in Dera Ismail Khan. 4 cops were killed. In Balochistan, grenade attacks were reported. They killed 2 security personnel. In the rest of the country, things were largely stable. You can write that down to security presence. Some 650,000 personnel had been deployed, 650,000 security officials. So the whole country was in lockdown. Even the borders with Iran and Afghanistan were shut. Same with mobile services. Last week, there was speculation about a shutdown, but Pakistan's telecom regulator denied it. They said no shutdown was being planned. Yet this morning, they switched it off. All mobile services across the country were stopped today. Basically, Pakistan went dark. Candidates could not speak to their supporters. Parties could not coordinate with voters. It was a logistical nightmare. The question is why? Why shut down mobile services on election day? Apparently to keep the security situation under check. But let's face it, the shutdown was a rigging tactic. No mobile service equals no scrutiny. It also exposed who stands where. Bilawal Bhutto of the Pakistan People's Party opposed it. He said, lift the mobile shutdown.
So the mobile phone services should be immediately restored for the sake of security, democracy and normal functionality. This is the basic right of the Pakistani people. They must cast their votes today, and this block can cause impediments to that.
Well, he's asked for this. So did workers of Imran Khan's PTI. They said their whole network had been crippled. But guess who did not complain? Nawaz Sharif. The man touted to be the next Prime Minister of Pakistan. He cast his vote at a polling station in Lahore. He was accompanied by his daughter, Maryam Nawaz. Sharif says the election was truly fair.
Now, today, I think that is absolutely fair.
His rivals too cast their vote. Bilawal Bhutto at a polling station in Larkana and Imran Khan via postal ballot. Chances are that postal vote did not leave jail premises. Now, all of these developments would discourage any voter. It would make them lose faith in democracy, but thousands of Pakistani voters still turned up today. They knew the polls were rigged. They knew their vote may not matter, yet they turned up at the polling station.
We came here today by foot and then on a tractor trolley. It was a very difficult and hard journey. We have no school in our village. The young girls have to travel far away for studies.
I feel very excited to cast my first vote, and because everyone waits for their first vote, and I think it's like a good experience.
Voting does matter. Everyone should come out. Everyone. No one should stay at home. Today is not the day to stay at home. Those who choose to sit at home today will do injustice to themselves.
I came to vote for good government, a good economy, and for a good image of Pakistan abroad, and for the good future of our children.
What do you call that? Misplaced optimism? Naivete? Or something else? Whatever it is, Pakistan's army throttled it. They used a number of tactics to rig the voting today. Delays were one of them. Voters said poll officers were moving at a snail's pace, so the lines barely moved. In some places, voting started very late or never started at all, like at a polling station in Karachi, polling station number 81. Even at 2 p.m., voting was yet to start there. How about that? 6 hours into voting, polling stations were shut. Elsewhere, ballot paper ran out, so voters were turned back. They were told, you cannot cast your vote. PTI supporters were protesting throughout the day. They have complained of widespread rigging. Yet Pakistan expects the world to take this election seriously. We knew the process would be rigged. We knew the army would try everything, but today's election went one step ahead. It wasn't just subversion of democracy, it was an all-out murder.